Okay, so we'll do question 8 and 9 together because they're both use sort of the same thing, just question 9 goes further. So when we're asked to find the gradient, we have just a few steps that we have to follow. So the step 1 is basically just to label our points. So we label the first point x1 and y1, we'll label the second point x2 and y2. Then we write our gradient formula. So the letter for gradient, is m, so that's our gradient there. You don't have to write this is just so it's clear. Equals y2 minus y1 on x2 minus x1. So all we do is we look and say, well, what's the value for y2? What matches up with y2? Well, it's -2 matches up with y2. So we write -2 minus what matches up with y1. Okay, so we look here. Right, so y1 matches up with -5. So minus -5. Make sure if you have negative numbers, you put them in brackets like that. Divided by, what's our x2? Well, let's have a look. The x2 is a 4. So that should be a 4. What's our x1? It's -2. So minus -2. Okay. Put that in a calculator if you like. So -2 minus 5 is the same as -2 plus 5. So we should get 3. And here we have 4 minus -2, so that's the same as 4 plus 2, which is 6. So we should get 3 over 6. If you do that in a calculator, you should get 0.5. Or a half is also acceptable. So 0.5, or you could leave it like that, 1/2. Alright, so that's question 8. For question 9, we do the exact same steps to find the gradient. So that's what we do first for question 9 as well. So for question 9, let's label our points. We'll go x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now make sure your points have an x and a y. They shouldn't have an x and an x or a y and a y. It should always x1, y1, x2, y2. We write down the formula for gradient. So m equals y2 minus y1 on x2 minus x1. Again, just put in what it says, right? So y2, match it up, it's 16. So 16, y1, match it up, it's 8. So 16 minus 8 divided by, well, x2 is 6 minus, and x1 is 2, right? Just from our labels. That's why it's important to label. So 16 minus 8 is 8 divided by 6 minus 2 is 4, which equals 2. So the gradient is 2. Now, the next thing we do is we write down y equals mx plus c. And so because we already know what m equals 2, we can rewrite that as y equals 2x plus c, right? So instead of m, we write 2. And now what we need to do is we need to choose a point and sub it in. So we need to put it in a point from here into our equation. So let's pick the one that looks smaller, looks easier, right? We'll pick this point, 2 and 8. The y value here is 8, right? y1 equals 8, so the y value is 8. So instead of y, we write 8 equals 2 stays the same times, well, what's our x value? Okay, so the x value, x1 here, in the same point, is 2. Okay, so we put that in instead of x. So instead of y, we've put in 8. Instead of x, we've put in 2, because our point was 2 and 8. Plus c, because we still don't know what c is. So 8 equals 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 plus c. And then to get c on its own, we just need to subtract 4 from both sides to get rid of this 4. So minus 4, let me rewrite that, minus 4, and minus 4. So that gets cancelled, and 8 minus 4 is 4, so 4 equals c. So we know our equation looks like y equals mx plus c, and we know that m equals 2 and c equals 4. So the equation should be, our answer, y equals 2x plus